So what happens when your AI gets hacked? And I don't mean just a little glitch. I'm talking about a full-on security incident. You know, as AI gets woven into the very fabric of our businesses, this isn't some far-off what-if anymore. It's a real-world problem. So today, we are diving into the brand new playbook for AI incident response.
And just so we're clear, all the information we're breaking down today comes straight from Chapter 8 of the AI Security Tutorial by Virtualization Options LLC.
All right, let's kick things off with a new kind of fire drill. Because let's be honest, your old incident response plan, the one you built for things like server outages or network breaches, it's basically obsolete now. AI security incidents, well, they're a whole different animal, and they demand a completely new game plan.
Think about it like this. On one side, you've got your traditional incidents, right? The server goes down, you bring it back up. Your network gets breached, you patch the hole. They're known problems with known solutions. But AI incidents, they are so much sneakier. We're talking about attacks that don't just break the system, they actually corrupt its brain, poisoning its data or twisting how it learns. It is a completely different kind of fight.
So if we're going to build a new playbook, we first have to know our enemy. And the source material lays out 4 main types of AI incidents that really every single one of us needs to get a handle on.
First on the list is model compromise. The best way to think of this is like someone stealing the master blueprints to your most valuable machine. An attacker gets their hands on the model itself and can start messing with its guts, introducing weird biases, making it perform worse, or even stealing the very data it was built with.
And responding to this, it's not as easy as just kicking the attacker out and changing the password. No way. You have to do a full-on diagnostic. We're talking validating every parameter, running performance tests to see what's changed, and even redoing your fairness checks for any hidden biases. Only after all that can you even start thinking about restoring it.
Next is something called data poisoning, and this one is especially nasty. See, instead of attacking the model directly, the attacker goes after its food source, the training data. By feeding it bad or misleading info, they can control how it behaves from the inside out. It's incredibly deceptive.
So, how do you fix a poisoned AI? You've got to go back to the beginning. The response here is all about intense data forensics, verifying data integrity, hunting for any weird anomalies in the training set, and tracking down and validating the source of every piece of data, all before you can even dream of retraining the model.
Then you've got adversarial attacks. Now this is pure deception. An attacker creates some kind of special input. Maybe it's an image that looks perfectly normal to you and me, but it has these tiny invisible changes that are specifically designed to trick the AI into making a wildly incorrect decision.
The only way to defend against this is to make your models smarter and, honestly, a little more skeptical. The response involves learning to spot these attack patterns, making your input filters way stronger, and even using a cool technique called adversarial training, where you basically show your model these tricky examples on purpose to make it more resilient for the real world.
And finally, we have privacy breaches. Here's a scary thought. Your AI model might be holding on to a secret. Sometimes these huge models can accidentally memorize sensitive bits of their training data. A smart attacker can then ask just the right questions to trick the model into spitting out private customer info or trade secrets it was never ever supposed to share.
When this happens, the response is just as much about procedure as it is about technology. You have to figure out exactly what data got out, you have to notify the people who were affected, and then comes the fun part, all the regulatory paperwork and compliance that goes with any data breach. It's a massive, multi-front response.
Okay, so we've met the bad guys. Now let's look at the playbook. This is your guide to get you through the crisis. A clear, 4-step plan that's all about taking action.
And why is having a structured plan so important? Because when an incident is happening live, the default state is pure chaos. A clear, well-rehearsed playbook is the one thing that separates a manageable problem from an absolute disaster.
The plan itself is broken down into 4 pretty straightforward phases. You start with detection and analysis, figuring out what's happening. Then you move to containment and eradication, stopping the bleeding. Phase 3 is recovery and restoration, getting back to normal. And finally, you wrap up with post-incident activities, making sure you actually learn from what happened.
Now what's really key here is seeing the mix of people you need. During detection, your security folks have to be working hand in hand with your AI engineers. But when it's time for recovery, it's the AI engineers and your quality assurance specialists who are really running the show. And look at those metrics. In a crisis, everything is measured in speed.
How fast can you detect it, and how fast can you contain it?
But, a great playbook isn't just about putting out one fire. It's about building an organization that's fireproof from the start. It's all about planning for resilience long before an incident ever even happens.
This all starts with a rock-solid business continuity plan. You have to know which of your AI systems are absolutely critical. You need backups for your models and your data. And here's a big one. You need to define what an acceptable level of performance degradation looks like. Knowing what good enough is lets you keep the lights on even when things are going wrong.
And your recovery strategies come right from that plan. For your most important systems, you might need a hot standby, basically a perfect clone ready to take over in an instant. For stuff that's less critical, maybe a cold standby that takes a bit longer to fire up is okay. The key is to have all of this figured out and tested way ahead of time.
So everything we've talked about really boils down to one critical question, one you need to be asking yourself and your organization right now. Are you actually prepared for this new reality?
Let me be absolutely crystal clear on the main takeaway here. An AI security incident is not a matter of if it will happen, but when. Crossing your fingers and hoping for the best is not a strategy. Having a specialized, AI-focused response plan isn't just a nice to have, it is completely non-negotiable.
I'll just leave you with this one last thought to chew on. Your AI models are out there right now, constantly learning, constantly evolving with new data. So the real question is your incident response plan doing the same?